Do I have to start again from scratch? Do I have to make another hole or start with a separate screw or separate piece of wood? No, I don't. There's a simple little trick that I can use to tighten the screw. Here's all I need.
Some people don't like cats. Fair enough.
Pentagon. The day before 9/11, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld declared war, not on foreign terrorists.
The adversary is closer to home. It's the Pentagon bureaucracy.
He said money wasted by the military poses a serious threat.
In fact, it could be said that it's a matter of life and death.
Rumsfeld promised change, but the next day, the world changed. And in the rush to fund the war on terrorism, the war on waste seems to have been forgotten.
My '03 budget calls for more than $48 billion in new defense spending.
More money for the Pentagon when its own auditors admit the military cannot account for 25% of what it already spends.
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
2.3 trillion with a T. That's $8,000 for every man, woman, and child in America. To understand how the Pentagon can lose track of trillions, consider the case of one military accountant who tried to find out what happened to a mere 300 million.
We know it's gone, but we don't know what they spent it on.
Jim Minery, a former Marine turned whistleblower, is risking his job by speaking out for the first time about the millions he noticed were missing.
If there's a video worth preserving, it's this. This is about 15 minutes. This is the shortened version if you want to put it on your hard drive. Sure, 6 months before 9/11, this E-Team, group of starving artists, is going to take a helicopter up and just hover outside the World Trade Center and take pictures of people standing in the window that look a lot like jumpers to me. And, makes perfect sense.
You got Photoshop in it now, right? Those guys are like computer wizards, right?
And they're not here yet. So who sees first the helicopter should say?
You're gonna rent a helicopter, but you're gonna use an Exacta camera from 1974? Just doesn't seem to add up now, does it? This whole thing's a little creepy, if you have any sort of common sense. Well, it doesn't look like they went up in the 666 helicopter, nor do they have anything to do with the helicopter company, but it's odd, don't you think?
Everybody who wants to get his picture taken from the quick click. Not very close, about 500 feet away. There will be two of the E-Team in the helicopter. We're gonna take a picture of each of you who wants to have his picture taken on the 91st floor in this window right here.
Next person step up to the shower and just don't mind the gas coming out of the shower. It would be nice hot shower for you.
Next.
Okay, next person into the oven. Who's next into the oven?
You locked and loaded?
You ready? You ready? Okay, yep, you ready.
Yeah, step up into the window. That way we can model the jumpers correctly into the CGI imaging. Not that no one did not die in 9/11, but we had to make it look good on television. See, we just pretend we're taking nice pictures of people while the other people in the helicopter are doing something very, very sinister. Don't you think? Yeah, thank you for participating in the quick click by the E-Team. Now, the E-Team has nothing to do with the explosive that we laid throughout the World Trade Center. And it's just 6 months prior to 9/11 we decided to take these pictures with a helicopter of World Trade Center 1 and 2. And look at the last paragraph. You can come back the next day and pick up your free quick click picture at the E-Team Tower. I stepped over the line. I was just having fun. Look, you'd have to be a crazy conspiracy theorist to think there's anything abnormal about just giving away the marquee real estate in New York City, the 91st floor of World Trade Center 1, just giving it away for free to starving artists from other countries who can't pay the rent. And then when you go and look and see what they're doing, they've got all these boxes stacked up and they're wearing grappling equipment, and on record they're taking out and removing windows, and there's no ceiling, you just have access to the pipes above there, but there's nothing unusual about that. We must just be conspiracy theorists. I mean, but look at this picture. Again, from the other angle, just somebody else ready to take the window out, another person wearing grappling equipment with boxes stacked up, and somebody actually identified a code on one of the boxes and actually had the gall to relate it to a fuse for an incendiary device. But come on, 6 months prior to 9/11, a bunch of foreigners running around the top of the World Trade Center at all hours of the day and night. Who possibly would see anything abnormal with that? Thank you for preserving the first part of this video, and the original video is about 15 minutes, but there is nothing material in it. I tried to combine it into 5 or 6 minutes, and that's the best I could do in terms of preserving the parts that I think are significant as to how this E-Team, whatever that is, they all have matching orange jumpsuits, and they go up and they're starving artists, right? They can't even afford a McDonald's, but they can rent a helicopter, and they can just go up and, with that Exacta camera from 1974, just snap pictures of people standing in the window. And if there wasn't a string of 1,000 impossible coincidences surrounding 9/11, this by itself should raise concern. And again, forget the 1,000 other pieces of impossible coincidences we could present back to back to back in a 4-hour lecture that I could present tonight without a single note. This by itself, the starving artist just decided to rent a helicopter, and they just hovered it outside the World Trade Center. And I guess the NYPD helicopters up there, flying around New York looking to spot crime, they just, hey, just normal, I guess it's just sightseers. They just hover this helicopter right in front of the World Trade Center. Or maybe they did have the proper permitting to just hover a helicopter. And then they had that Exacta camera from 1974, and the idea was to take pictures of people standing in the window, and then they offered the pictures for free for any of these people going into the window that wanted to come back and get their picture. It was available if they came back and got it. But think about this. Well, what did the artists do with this? Where's the art project? What did they do with this? Why did they do it? Why did they spend the money? Aren't they starving artists? They never show you what the art project was because there wasn't one.
Torture or kill a cat just for the hell of it, then you've got a problem. Cats, you don't like them? Then leave them alone.
It had a magazine that held 33 rounds.